Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be changing the oil on my 2018 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. This truck has the 4.3 liter V6 engine in it. As you can see, I am fortunate enough in my shed, I do have a pit, so I'm able to get underneath the vehicle and still stand underneath it. I envy you guys that are doing these oil changes, crawling on the ground out in your front yard or in your driveway doing that. We are going to change the oil on this. Some of the tools we're going to need to get started, let's go through those. So what I have here in front of us, I've got my oil change sticker and a Sharpie. So I have my little reminder up in the windshield on when I need to change my oil again. I have a couple different versions of an oil filter wrench to remove the old oil filters. Probably going to be using the band type today, but we'll see how that goes. Got a couple of old t-shirts for rags. I've got my Blackstone Lab test kit. I am going to take a sample of this oil and send it off to Blackstone Labs. And then on a future video, I'll go ahead and walk through the report that I get back on my 2018 Chevy Silverado. I've got some brake cleaner just to help clean up a little bit. I've got a 15 millimeter wrench and a 15 millimeter socket. I'll probably be using the socket today. The drain plug on the Chevy Silverados is a 15 millimeter socket or a 15 millimeter drain plug. I've got a couple of pairs of gloves, so I might as well try to keep my hands clean. I've got a funnel just to help when we're going to refill the oil. I've got 6 quarts because my 4.3 liter V6 Chevy takes 6 quarts of 5W30, so I've got Pennzoil. I've got a Purolator One PL22500 oil filter that I'm going to put on it. I've got a drain pan so I can go ahead and drain the oil in there. I also have some windshield washer fluid. You can always fill up the windshield washer fluid whenever you've got the hood open. You might as well check your fluids, take a peek, fill things up, top things off. And I'm also going to be putting the ramps. I will be driving the truck up on ramps today, just because then it gives me the opportunity when I'm down in the pit that I can completely stand up down there. I am 6 feet tall, so it does help to give it a few extra inches with the ramps. And then I also have just some homemade chocks that I have just to put behind the back tires, just for safety, just to make sure the truck doesn't roll down off the ramps. So that's what we're going to use to get started today. Let's get going. Oh, one other tool that I forgot to mention is going to be my Hillbilly Industrial fan. I've got 2 of these out here in the shed, and I will be using them today. It's a little hot and humid here in the 90s, so we're just going to turn those fans on, get some air moving in here, just to make it a little more comfortable as we do our oil change. Now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the oil fill cap and the dipstick. It just gives it a little bit of airflow inside so the oil drains a little quicker from the bottom of the engine. As you can see, it does say Dexos SAE 5W30, as this is the 4.3 liter V6 engine, so it does take the 5W30. We'll pull our dipstick out. Go ahead and wipe that off, just so we don't drip any oil. So right here, we have our 15 millimeter drain plug. That's where the used oil is going to come out. And if you can kind of see up in there, nope, not really. We go up this little hole, there's our oil filter right up there. So we'll be able to remove that as well. So here we have our drain plug, our drain pan so we can catch all the used oil. It's a 15 millimeter drain plug. Just going to take this, break it loose. Now I did go ahead and take the truck around the neighborhood today just to kind of warm it up before our oil change. They say warm oil does flow a little quicker out of the engine, so you just have to be a little bit careful not to get burned. But one little trick that I use is I kind of push in on the drain plug as I'm unscrewing it. And then I'm also going to try to put the drain pan up just a little bit so I can catch anything coming out. So let's give that a try. So I'm pushing in on the drain plug slightly as I'm unscrewing it. And right about there, I'm feeling where it's probably just going to fall out. So let's go ahead and get our drain pan up here. Pull that down. Try to catch a little bit and not wear a whole lot of it. Let that drain a little bit. Oh, there we go. I just spilled some. Pretty standard at Paul's shed. Now I do have my Blackstone Labs sample catch can. So I'm going to go ahead, fill that up. And as you watch, as the oil comes down, it's just kind of moving forward just a little bit. So you got to keep kind of adjusting your drain pan slightly, just so we make sure we catch all that and limit our mess. Probably still going to end up with a mess, but at least we'll limit it. Just going to keep letting that drain. I'm going to do a little quick wipe up here at the cross member, because as that shot straight out, we got a little bit of oil up on there. We'll hit that with a little brake cleaner here in a little while. So here, as you can see, we're starting to get down to just a little drip. Go ahead, still make sure we're catching most of the oil in the drain pan. Clean up a little bit of our mess that we made. One thing's for sure, when you're out here changing your oil, you don't want to wear your Sunday's best. But here it is, a Friday evening, so I've got my Friday's best. It's already got stains on it. Now, as you can see, it's just kind of coming out just a little dribble at this time. But I'm going to still keep letting it drain. Give that about 5-10 minutes. Let it drain. Let's get as much of that used, nasty oil out of there as we can before we fill it up with brand new, fresh oil. Now, one other thing we want to do is we want to take a peek at our drain plug. As you can see, there is a little black rubber gasket that's on these Chevy drain plugs. Let's clean that off just a little bit. There we go, I kind of wiped that off, but as you can see, there is a little bit of a lip on that drain plug. I've replaced this drain plug once already. The truck has about 98,000 miles on it. So I believe it was the original drain plug and gasket. So I did replace that once, but there's still a little bit of, the rubber's still kind of squishy, sticks out just a little bit. So then when that goes back into the oil drain hole, kind of squeezes that rubber, just gives it a little extra bit of a washer in there. Just kind of squeezes up in there. So one thing I just did want to explain just a little further. So right up here is our oil filter, our old oil filter. Chevy did put a little hole, square hole here. And then right up there is where you have to kind of reach to get that oil filter down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you down and then go ahead and try to get my oil filter band up on there and start loosening that up a little bit. All right, so if you can see that, now I have the oil filter wrench up on the old filter. Go ahead and start loosening that up. All right, there we go. I've got that loosened up. Now, I saw this cool trick. Somebody took a McDonald's cup, stuff it up there, put it around your oil filter, and then loosen it up. Because you're going to get some oil coming out of that filter. So you use the plastic McDonald's cup to help limit your mess. So I'm going to try it. All right, I see some oil down in the bottom of the McDonald's cup. Oh, a little bit dripping. Let that drain into our drain pan. Yeah, I can't get a good grip on it. Let's just scrap that idea for right now. So as you're loosening that oil filter, it does get a little bit slippery because it does have oil on it now. So you just want to make sure you have a nice good grip. And then as you're pulling that down, kind of keep it in the upright position. And then as you get it closer to your drain bucket, toss it in there. Almost there. There it comes. All right, and one of the things you want to make sure on your old filter, nope, I'm making a mess. Grab one of my old t-shirts, clean this up a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell because it is a black filter, but you want to look at this rubber gasket that goes around the outside here, and you want to make sure that it comes off with the old filter. They call it double gasketing. If that gasket sticks up on the engine, and then you go ahead and put on a new filter with a new rubber gasket, you'll have two gaskets up there, and that's oftentimes where your oil may leak. So this one, I do have that. The old O-ring gasket came down with the old filter, so I'm just going to drop that in my drain bucket. Let things drip a little further here. All right, so if you look out of my drain, the oil drain, we're just down to a drip now. I don't know if you can see that on the glove or not. So I'm going to go ahead and put our drain plug back in. Wipe that down. We've got a nice clean drain plug. Going to give it a little wipe right here in front. Put that drain plug back in. Get our 15mm socket. Turn it the other direction, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. This time we're going righty-tighty. Going to get that up on there. Just kind of go ahead, give it a little bit of an oomph to get that thing on there, but it's an aluminum drain pan for these Chevy Silverados, so you don't want to reef on it too much. You don't need to be a torque monkey and torque it down to 1,000,000 foot-pounds. Just kind of get that on there. You would just want that rubber inside washer just to kind of squeeze up on there and just kind of give it a nice and tight. I'm going to go up here with our rag. Oh, of course, dipped it in the oil. Go ahead, clean off this plastic just a little bit. Clean off the cross member. And then see if we can get a good view up in there inside to see where this oil filter goes. All right, so just wanted to give you a little bit more of a good view. So that right there is where the new oil filter, or where your old oil filter came off and where your new oil filter is going to go. So what you want to do, just kind of make sure that you've got a nice silver look to it there, so that you don't have that other gasket from your old oil filter up on there. So now I'm just going to kind of reach up in here with my rag, clean that off a little bit, clean up the oil that's dripped. Got my new oil filter, got my 6 quarts of Pennzoil 5W30. We turn this around. With GM vehicles, they say it needs to meet this Dexos 1 GM approved. Dexos 1 GM approved. And this jug I've opened up before, and if you look at the side over here, kind of has the measurements on here. So here's a half a quart, and here's 1 quart. So I've got about 3/4 of a quart in there right now. So I may need to open up another jug and get another 1/4 of a quart out. But once we check the oil, we'll see how that looks. Now I know the internet's going to love me for this one, but I do pre-fill my oil filters. It is easy on those Chevy Silverados just because of the fact that the oil filter kind of goes just right up like this. So if you pre-fill it, some of the oil filters that hang out sideways, you can't really pre-fill it because then you're just going to spill all your new oil in there, spill all your new oil out. But here, I'm going to pre-fill this. And actually, this new Purolator One oil filter has a red gasket. That helps me. It was kind of difficult seeing that black gasket on that Napa Gold filter that I pulled off just because you had a black oil filter and a black gasket. Now I got a red one. Should be able to see that a little better. So how I fill these, just kind of leave it in the box. Just going to give my oil a little shake here. I'm going to go ahead, just kind of pour it in a little bit. Of course, try not to make too big of a mess. And then as that goes in, just want to make sure your finger's clean on your glove. Grab a little bit of this new oil. Kind of just coat this, our new fancy red ring. Gonna fill a little bit more up in there. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see it gurgling. I'm just going to take a little bit more of that new oil, put it around. That just helps it seal up on the bottom of the engine. And then what also will help it, that should help so the next time that rubber is not dry up on there. And hopefully after I just hand tighten it, I'll be able to get it off next time. We'll put our cap back on the oil jug that we just poured from. And now let's go put this filter on. All right, so here we go. Here's where our oil filter screws on. Got a little bit of drippage going on. So I'm going to take a nice clean rag and I reach straight up in here. Just clean out a little bit of that last little bit of drippage. There we go. Here's our new oil filter going in. Maybe. Take a peek up where that goes. There we go. Just kind of make sure those threads get started in there. Definitely don't want to cross thread this. Just kind of a nice easy spin on at first. And the way they say to hand tighten these oil filters, just kind of once the rubber makes that rubber gasket, my fancy red one, makes contact with the bottom of the oil pan, and then you tighten it 3/4 to 1 turn. I don't know how you really measure that, especially when it's a little oily and slippery. But I'm just going to reach up there with my rag, kind of push on the bottom of that filter, twist it on, get it on there kind of hand tight. Don't want it to fall off, but it doesn't need to be torqued to 1,000 pounds either. Just kind of twist that by hand, get it on there. There you go. I'm going to go ahead and wipe down that oil filter just in case any of that oil that I pre-filled it with went ahead and spilled. Gonna wipe that down. Should be all clean. And then just want to take a peek. Make sure you've got your drain plug back in. There we go. Got it in. Just a quick little double check. Yep, we're tight. Got that in. Want to make sure that's on there before you start filling up the new oil. So we've got our drain plug in there. Ooh, we can see that filter a little better with sparklies. I do like Purolator One oil filters with the blue sparkly paint. That is pretty. Too bad nobody really sees it under here, but it's pretty. Gonna go straight up our hole. Right there, there we are. All tightened in place. Let's go up top, fill it up. All right, so here we are up on top. Right here is our oil fill hole. I'm gonna go ahead and put our funnel in there. The way this one's designed, you need a funnel. I don't know how you could be able to pour these big old jugs in an angled hole. So we're going to use our funnel. Go ahead and give our oil jug a little shake. This is our one where we had, well, after pre-filling the oil filter, we probably had a quarter of a quart left in it. So that's pretty quick. That one's empty. Want to set that aside. Here's our new full 5-quart jug. Going to give that a little shake. I don't know if it needs to be shaken or not, but yeah, give it a little shake. All right. Here we go. Oh, made a mess. Good job, Paul. And one thing you definitely want to do on all your vehicles is just kind of check your owner's manuals just to see what the oil type they recommend and also how much. For me, this one's an easy one. It's a 6-cylinder. It takes 6 quarts. That's all I remember. Go ahead, tip that back. All right, so we got those 5 3/4 quarts added in. So what we want to do now, I'm going to wipe off our fill plug. Put that back in. Take our dipstick. Put that back in. Now we're ready to start it up. See where our oil level's at. All right, so here we are in the vehicle. I'm going to start it up. We just want that oil to kind of circulate in the engine a little bit. Start it up, let it run for 2, 3, 5 minutes. As you can see, my right gauge over here, oil pressure, or the oil pressure is up to about 40. That's usually where this truck runs. Got on our information screen that the hood's open. Oh my goodness. Thanks for that reminder. Now I see it. I'm going to go ahead and dismiss that. So what you want to do is just kind of scroll through your info pages here. Here's where I usually have it on the miles per hour. So we're not driving anywhere, so we're at 0. There's our fuel economy, fuel range, and then here it says oil life, 22%. I usually go about 6,000 miles, give or take a little bit, and then change the oil. Want to hit this right arrow. Pops over and says reset. Want to hit the center button. Then it asks, are you sure you want to reset the oil life? Yes, I am. I've got some nice fresh Pennzoil Platinum in there right now. Go ahead and click yes. There we go. The oil life goes back to 100%. Still got my foot on the brake. Going to go ahead and put it in reverse, kind of roll back off these ramps. Because when we check our oil after we let it run for a few minutes, we want to make sure that it's on level ground so we can get a good reading on our dipstick. There we are. Put it back in park. So we're at 98,822. So I got to do a little math, figure out 6,000 miles plus 98,822 so I can update my little oil change sticker. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our oil change sticker filled out. I usually put today's date on here. So we got 7/25, and then the mileage, we're at 98,822. Just going to round that off to 98,800. So I usually do my oil change intervals at about 6,000 miles. So we're going to say, oh, I got to fit 6 digits on here this time for the first time in this vehicle. 104,800. Where we've got that. Our cap back on our Sharpie. Here's our oil sample that we took that we're going to mail off to Blackstone Labs. When you get the free kits from them, this is what they send you. They send you a little blanket to wrap your oil sample in just in case it leaks on the way there in the mail. Put that in a little Ziploc baggie, squeeze the air out. Put that in our big black container here. Close that up. And we've got a paper that they have us fill out. I'll fill that out later. But then they also give you a little shipping bag, prepaid shipping bag. You pay for the oil sample, so I suppose in a roundabout way we're paying for the shipping as well. That's okay. All right, so I've had the truck sitting now for about 10 or 15 minutes. We ran it for a few minutes, kind of let that oil circulate through the engine. Now we shut it off. It's been 10 or 15 minutes. Now we want to check our oil level, see where we're at. I'm going to pull out that dipstick, wipe it off. You don't ever want to check it on the first pull. Go ahead, wipe that off. Put it back in. That down in there. Pull it out one more time. And sometimes you get a little different reading on each side. Get that to focus a little bit. So yeah, we're a little less than halfway up. That one, oh, maybe only a quarter of the way up. So yep, it's a little low. It's measuring about where we thought it was going to be. About a quarter of a quart to a half a quart low. So I'm going to go ahead and top that up and call it good. All right, so we've got the oil topped off. Right in between, or right toward the top of the little hash marks on the oil dipstick. Now we just want to, while we've got the hood open, we just want to take a peek at things. Make sure it doesn't look like anything's leaking. Any spills anywhere. I did spill a little oil, so I wiped that up. But you want to take a peek at your brake reservoir. Here, there's 2 little arrows where the full is. You can give that a little jiggle. You can see the brake fluid right there. We're full. Here's our windshield washer fluid. I'm going to top that up a little bit. See where we're at. Got that filled up. I'm going to take a peek at our antifreeze, our coolant. Over here in this container, it gives you a full mark for when it's hot and a full mark for when it's cold. We're at the hot mark. Give it a little jiggle. We're good. So one thing you can do with your old oil, you can save your containers and put it in there. You can usually bring it back to AutoZone, O'Reilly's, Walmart will take used oil. You can bring those containers in, drop them off. They'll recycle the used oil. We've got our used oil bin right there. Usually takes me about 2 to 3 years to fill up a 55-gallon barrel of used motor oil. But when I do, put it out on Facebook Marketplace just for free, as long as you come pick it up, and somebody will burn that oil to keep them warm in the wintertime. Just want to say thank you and appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Thank you.